Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today is episode 2 of the Jetta build series. If you didn't see episode 1, I just posted the video not too long ago, so if you're interested, go ahead and check on that. But today's video is going to be more of a quick review of this BAUER Bandfile Belt Sander. So we're going to be using this today to take off the rest of the undercoating on my Mark III Volkswagen Jetta and see if we can reach the tighter spaces that I showed you guys in the last video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open the box up and see what this thing comes with. All right, so first things first is you're gonna wanna find yourself a nice quality blade here with a nice sharp tip to open this packaging up. Okay, so one thing I like about this is it is corded. Well, not that I like it because I don't have any of the wireless tools on this brand or any of the other Harbor Freight brands, so I didn't have to buy a battery for it. It was just a tool, and it was only like 50 bucks, so it wasn't too bad. And it looks like it's mostly set up here already for you. But yeah, so this is the tool itself. Corded. Looks like you got a pretty good length cord to go along with it, but I have an extension cord either way. And then it also comes with, it looks like an extra piece of sandpaper. I'm not sure what grit this is. It looks like it's pretty rough. Maybe 40 grit. I don't know. I can't see what it says on there. But extra piece of sandpaper. There's one already on here. So let's see if there's anything we have to do, or just glance through the instructions real quick to see if there's any setup that's involved with this. All right, safety stuff. Skip past that. Boring. All right, so here we just have some diagrams showing the actual tool itself and how to change some of the adjustments on there. Also how to replace the belt, lock it into place. Okay. Interesting. So it's not a how-to video, it's just a quick unboxing, and I'm going to show you guys how it works, taking off the undercoating. So that's pretty much it. You get the tool, you get a little Allen wrench, and you get another extra piece of sandpaper in the box. I'm not sure what grit it comes with. I don't think it says on here. But yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm going to get it set up off camera, and then I'm going to take it into the booth, and I'm going to show you guys how good it is at stripping away the undercoating material on a 20-year-old car. And some pretty tight angles, so we'll see if it does the job that I got it for. So real quick, guys, I just figured out that it ships with the 80 grit sandpaper, so I actually bought some extra ones while I was in the store because I didn't know which one it came with, and I wanted the finest grit I could find. So they make 36 grit, 80 grit, and 120 grit, and you can tell that the 36 grit here is a lot coarser than the 80 grit that it ships with. So if you want a 36 grit, you're gonna have to pick up some extra ones. I think there's like a $5 pack in the store. But yeah, it comes with 2 pieces of the 80 grit. So I'm actually gonna change the one on the belt that it came with onto one of the 36 grit ones because the undercoating is pretty tough. All right, guys, what the heck? I guess this is a how-to video now. I started taking it apart and realized this video was gonna be too short, so I'll show you guys how to fiddle with this. See how long it takes to change this little belt thingy. So use the Allen key that it came with and take off this one screw here. And then this plate will fall off, and this is as far as I got by myself, so I don't know what I'm doing from here. So to show you the inside of this, there's like a little, actually it would probably be easier if I did this first. So I was fiddling around with this thing. This is this screw you loosen up to actually adjust the head of the band. So once that's loose, you can kind of fiddle around with this. And also what's interesting is once it's loose, it kind of, if you have it in certain spots, it'll like, you see, I don't know if you can see that gap right there, but it'll like kind of come out on you and you think it'll fall off, but it won't fall off until you have that mark right there lined up with that line. And then once you do that, then it'll actually pop off. Yeah, so now you have the whole head unit and then you just have the base itself. So this is the little rubber piece that the band actually goes around on. So I'm not sure why you need to take that off. It's interesting. But anyway, this kind of makes it easier. I guess it makes it easier to change the belt, but it doesn't actually say you have to take it off to change the belt. Yeah, it says you could just do it by taking this thing off. I guess there's something else you can adjust maybe to make it easier. Let's see, place the belt over the rolling arm. Well, it's already putting back on. Room screw, turn the slide lock completely to one side toward the roller to reduce tension. Screw. Toward the roller to reduce tension. What screw? Oh, there's a screw right here. There's a screw right here. So this will, what will this do? This will, okay, that releases the tension here. So once you have that taken off, once you have the tension off, you can remove that thing. I think that's what that does. Actually, no, this is not what that does. I'm lost. This is, so I don't know if you can see, I'll try to hold it straight for you, but this is the tracking adjustment. So as you move, well, as you turn that, this thing will move from side to side. So that helps it keep, if the belt's wobbling too much, it'll help it keep steady on that drum over here. So you could adjust that. It's nice. I'm trying to figure out how to. Okay, that's what this is for. So this thing over here, this one in the back, you slide this in and out, and that shortens and lengthens the length of this whole thing here. So that's what puts tension on the belt. It's called a slide lock though, which is misleading. I thought like it should be called like a tensioning arm or something. All right, anyway, I think I got it figured out enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on. I just want to show you guys that came off like that. And also, since it's so loose, I would just recommend that you have it, because you can tighten it, or you can think you're tightening it while it's not sat on all the way, and it'll stop moving. But I'll just recommend making sure that's pushed all the way against there before you start to screw that down again. Seems like the right thing to do. Don't take my word for it. All right, so now we have the new belt. Actually, well, that says 60 on it. This is supposed to be 80 grit. So we have this is 36 grit that we're going to replace onto here. See how hard that is. Slide that in over here. I'm going to pull this over here. Seems pretty far out, so maybe we need to slide the slide lock, not the tensioning arm. Slide the slide lock in. And then, okay, so that detensioned it, as you can see, or it made it shorter. And now you can slide this back. This is pretty, yeah, slide this back. And then I guess has tension again. Seems like it. Although, it does seem like it's getting bound up here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to go all the way back like that. Let me see. So that is no tension. This is tensioned. Is this extra tension? Oh, see, so that's more tension to a point, but then it'll go back if you put it all the way down, which is, so I guess you're supposed to keep this. Is it supposed to stay up there for, I'm not sure. I don't know, I'll keep that like that, I guess. Seems like it's enough tension to keep it on the belt. Seems like how it's supposed to be. Okay, now there's also grease getting on the belt, which might be not good. It's probably fine though. Actually, I might want to wipe that off. I don't want it to start slipping. Yeah, just use my hands. Okay, so now I've got my new 36 grit paper on there. And so I'm just gonna eyeball this and make sure that as this is spinning, looks like it's not coming off. And then I guess just eyeball this little adjustment thing here. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that was pretty easy. It looks pretty weird looking, but it's not too complicated. All right, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, and then just jump to me using it on the car. I'll probably switch to a voiceover because it'll be pretty loud. All right, guys. So through the magic of procrastination, I am here recording and editing this video and recording this voiceover approximately 7 to 8 months after I was doing this work in the garage. So that's given me a lot of time to actually use this tool thoroughly. If you believe it, I have actually finished stripping the entire underside of the car, priming the entire underside of the car, stripping the entire inside of the car, also priming the inside of the car, and painting both the inside and undercarriage of the car. So that gives you an idea of how long it's been. But as for the tool, I mean, it was pretty rough editing this video, knowing now how easy it is to use the thing. I mean, it takes like 2 seconds to change the sandpaper on the file, and to adjust the track setting, you're supposed to do that while the tool is actually on, so you can actually see it moving back and forth, and you stop adjusting whenever it's running straight. But yeah, that's literally the two things that you have to do: adjust the track and then just change the thing out, and it takes 2 seconds. Other than that, the tool is great. The adjustable head, I mean, I used it so many times when I was stripping the entire car. As you can see, on this undercoating is really tough. It was the hardest part to strip, and this, I think it was like a 36 grit that I was using, is taking it right off, and that was the toughest part to grind down. So, and it leaves a nice clean finish. So it was great, and you can see how awkward of a space that is, and it gets in there easily. So I'll speed up the rest of the clips and do a little time lapse so you could see the areas I was able to use it in. But after using it for a couple months, I haven't had any issues with it, and it being $50 and not ever lying on me once for that amount of time and the amount of hours I've used it for is pretty surprising. So I'd say it's a pretty good buy for your money, for what you're getting. The only thing is that if you're grinding for hours and hours like I was here, the files do tend to wear out pretty quickly. So I just eventually made sure I just had a bunch of packs of those on hand, so I could just keep switching them out whenever they wore down, because after they got wore down, it did make stripping take a little bit longer, and just started generating more heat and smoke, and it wasn't a lot of fun. So just grinding with the fresh one is easy. And also you can see here how it just came off like that. That does happen sometimes if you have it in a weird angle and you're brushing up against the side too much. It can fall off like that. That's pretty much the only issue I've ever had with it, but that's if you're using it properly. It doesn't really happen that often, and again, it takes 2 seconds to put that back on. As I've come to learn, you don't even have to unscrew that screw and take that plate off. You can just release the tension and slip the belt back over the drive wheel, and you're good to go again. But yeah, like I said, I mean, up until this point, I've recorded most of the work I've done to the car, and I actually just finished recording the video for the painting, and I decided to put Rapalon on the bottom. So it looks really clean, really fresh, a lot different from what you see here. But I have a couple more videos that I've recorded and have yet to edit that I will be doing soon, and releasing the videos throughout the coming weeks, and hopefully eventually I'll catch up to where I am in the project in real time. So if you're interested in that, definitely go ahead and subscribe and like the video if you like the content, and then I'll pass it over to my past self to finish the video. Thanks. Well, guys, as you saw in those clips, this is a really helpful tool for only $50. As you can see, it helped me get into those spots that I would literally never be able to get to with my regular angle grinder and a wire wheel, like behind these cups over here and down here, getting behind there. And you know, you could be at a point like this where you've taken out all the undercoating, you've got these tiny spots of undercoating left, and you're like, well, you know, at this point I think I got enough to where I can just go in and paint over the rest and it'll probably be fine. But as you can see up here, or as you saw in one of the clips, I actually, you know, you never know what tiny spot you will have that was, you know, that got chipped away enough to where it was starting to form some rust up here, and then eventually trickled down over here. And so there was rust over here that was literally underneath this little cup thing that most people probably say, oh, I'm not going to get under there, just paint over everything else. And, you know, eventually that rust would spread if you didn't get rid of it like that. So super helpful tool when getting in those tiny spots. The 36 grit was, it took off the undercoating super quick, which even the wire wheel took a little bit of time to get off. So that was great. And actually, this is still the initial piece of sandpaper I was using, so it lasts a good while too. I definitely hit metal a couple times, and you know, even rubbing against it, it didn't wear away too quickly, so that's good. But yeah, guys, so all in all, I would definitely recommend that tool if you're doing any type of body work where you've got different types of weird shapes that you got to get around and get under. Stuff like this bend, I was able to get inside of there and take most of that out. Well, I'm at the point now where, like I just said, I've got most of it taken off, and really the whole point is just to try to find any spots where, you know, you got rust that's eaten through the metal, or spots like, oh, I think I got rid of it, but spots where you could see like some rust veins forming, and you want to just expose any of those areas. But in places like the wheel wells here, if you go the whole, I pretty much went the whole thing and took everything out, and it pretty much all looks super clean. So like that little spot up there is there's probably nothing going on over there that I have to worry about. So that's probably fine to paint over. Same thing for down here. The entirety of all this wheel well has been super clean, and you have the spots up there. I might clean up a little bit more, but you know, I don't think that there was anything going on there really. It's the top of the car sitting upright. It's the top of the car, so water's not gonna, you know, pool in areas. It's really areas like this you gotta watch out for, where they inside here is hollow, so water will pool in here, and they have these little gaps where, you know, it's supposed to drain, but you know, it'll still pool and accumulate, and then it'll start rusting out quicker, like this one has here. So it's really spots like that that have me feeling a little stuck, because that's kind of outside the realm of, okay, just grab a wire wheel and start taking stuff off the bottom of the car. You know, it's how do I want to go about fixing this type of rust here so that I can have the peace of mind that that's not going to come back after, you know, I don't want to have gone through all this, you know, cleaning the entire bottom of the car just to have this this bottom section rust out again in a couple years. So it's definitely something to think about. I feel like I might just end up cutting a section of this off and cleaning up inside there. It seems like the only, like, I've never welded anything before, but I do have a welder, and that is something I'm going to have to get around to finish up this bottom section, is, you know, touching up these pieces, welding some new metal in there, and it's just, you know, getting over the initial fear of, let me, you know, go ahead and cut these pieces out and just weld them back in. So this is another section here. So I've seen this, like, I'm not sure what this big metal piece in the back here is for. I'm guessing for just to make this a little more rigid in the trunk area, but like this is really bad to where it's back here. You can see this metal, it's just completely been like eaten through with rust. And then areas like this down here too, it's just like these shoddy welds where they got these gaps in here. And then so I don't know, like behind here, in here, that's it. This section's rusting, so I don't know how deep that goes and how much is eaten through, to where, am I cutting this up? Am I just cleaning it up and calling it a day, or what? So that's kind of where it's at right now. I feel like the next step is probably just jumping off the cliff and cutting off any sections I think are too far gone, and then eventually figuring out how to weld it back up. So, because I gotta make some more progress besides just going in here and sanding down these little areas that really probably don't need to be sanded down. So definitely something to think about. I mean, if you have experience with this type of work, like sections like this, like I'd love to know what you guys think, what I should do, would I be good at just like cutting off a section of that so I can at least see, because this is like a couple different layers of metal here. So you have this outer one that's on the bottom of the car, and then you have this one, and there's also like one sandwich in between there, I think. So I don't want there to be like 3 different layers of metal that, you know, water gets stuck in there, and then if the middle one's rotted, it's going to rot out the other 2. So I'd probably be like best off going in through and making sure that there's no rust accumulating in there or anything, or clean it up, or at least do my best to get rid of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then also like sections like this where I'm trying to focus on the bottom of the car right now, but then this is like catching my eye to where there's these pieces here that are bent and rusted out, but then like kind of connected to the bottom. So should I try to straighten these out, clean them up, cut them off before I go ahead and go through and paint the bottom of this and seal it up? I don't know. It's just like the process of things and the steps of getting things ready that are kind of slowing me down a little bit because I'm unsure. I like to be sure of what I'm doing before I go in and start doing it, but I might just have to take some steps and get stuff going to make some more progress, or at least feel like I'm making more progress here. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. As always, thanks for watching. I definitely recommend again the little belt sander from Harbor Freight. Excuse the marks on my face. I had the mask on. You know, safety first. I don't want to be breathing in all this dust and stuff, and definitely protecting my eyes. So definitely wear a mask or eye protection and a respirator so you don't hurt yourself, because it's not that deep. But thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, as always, if you want to stay up to date on the project, subscribe so you can see my next videos. I'm pretty sure coming up here soon after I decide what to do with these sections of the car, I'm going to be going on a little welding journey, trying to learn how to weld the first time, so I can patch up some of these sections and get the car ready to get painted, and or at least primed, and then the Raptor liner on the bottom, and then we can finally move on to doing something else. So yeah, should be fun journey. If you want to watch it, subscribe. If you like the video, leave a like, and have a great day.